Low rates on an FM.
Welcome to another episode on Israel My Channel. In this episode, we will discuss the extraordinary reports coming from Jerusalem that letters forming the most sacred name of God began to show up on the eastern side of the Temple Mount. Remember, the eastern side of the Temple Mount is where the famous Golden Gate is located, and according to Jewish prophecy, the Messiah will enter the temple through the Eastern Gate. If you wish to learn more about the Eastern Gate, see my previous episode. I'm putting a card to this video in the top corner right now. I will also put a link in the description of this episode. So what is happening in Jerusalem? Is it possible that God is revealing His name on the Temple Mount? Is it a foreshadowing of something bigger? Let's investigate together. The information I am sharing with you is not something well known, but if you search the internet, you will find recent reports of people and newspapers claiming to see Hebrew letters appearing on eastern side of the Temple Mount. If that didn't make you intrigued, then what if I tell you that the letters seem to form the most sacred name of God? The name we are talking about is so holy that Jewish people do not even dare to pronounce it. This name is often called the tetragram, meaning Hebrew word consisting of 4 Hebrew letters. Starting from right to left, those letters are Yod, He, Vav, He. Here you can see a Bible verse from the book Shemot, also known as Exodus. This is chapter 3, verse 15. In this verse, you can see the most sacred name of God to the Jewish people. When you look closely at this word, you will see small dots and other minor signs. This is the Nikud system of diacritical signs used to represent vowels or distinguish between alternative pronunciations of letters of the Hebrew alphabet. It is a system created by the Masoretes of Tiberias in the second half of the first millennium AD in the land of Israel. But before this system was established, the Hebrew language in the written form did not have vowels, just consonants. Jewish people transmitted the proper pronunciation of words verbally. And this is not something special for Jewish people, as even today, most newspapers do not use vowels. People just remember how to pronounce words and can identify them immediately. Perhaps this knowledge will help you to understand why the Jewish people do not pronounce the holiest name of God. If there is a slight chance of pronouncing this name in a wrong way, it's better not to do it. So you may ask, what do the Jewish people do when they read the Bible and come across this name? Well, a different title for God is pronounced. When Jewish people encounter the tetragram, they pronounce Adonai, my Lord, or if the previous or next word already was Adonai, then they use Elohim, God. Some English translations, also out of respect for this name, have it written as Lord, with all capital letters to distinguish it from other titles of God. I am providing you with this background to stress that we are dealing with the holiest name of God. And it seems that the first 3 letters of this sacred name appeared on the eastern wall of the Temple Mount. Here, take a look at it yourself and tell me if you recognize the Hebrew letters. The letters are formed by the plant known as the thorny caper that became a symbol of the Temple Mount walls. It's hard to say who discovered this phenomenon first, but some say it was spotted by a religious Israeli woman who was shocked to see that the plants have grown to form the shapes of letters. The letters seem to be written in Ktav Ashuri, the calligraphy style used in writing sacred texts. Rabbi Joseph Beggar, the rabbi of King's David tomb on Mount Zion, ascribed the appearance of the letters to a verse in Deuteronomy.
And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee.
This verse is clearly describing being able to see God's name in Israel in the end of days, Rabbi Berger said, explaining that this vision was also described by the prophet Isaiah.
And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it.
God's name will become visible undeniably in front of everyone's eyes, Jews and not Jews, Rabbi Berger said. We have seen in so many ways recently that the ways of nature are no longer sufficient. Nature is now becoming a stage to reveal God's hidden nature. These are the signs and the wonders that are just a taste of what is to come. Additionally, Rabbi Berger said, "This is God's mercy. It is impossible to see God's name and not want to repent and to come closer to Him. It is difficult to believe, but even today, when we see unprecedented events, wonders and tragedies, there are those who refuse to call out to Him." Those are some incredible statements by the rabbi. Remember that Jerusalem is a special place for God of Israel. Even before the people of Israel reached the Promised Land, we read that God Himself designated Jerusalem as His chosen place forever. When the Hebrews were still in the desert after leaving Egypt, God says to His people,
"But unto the place which the Lord your God shall choose out of all your tribes, to put His name there, even unto His habitation shall ye seek, and thither thou shalt come."
We can ask the question, what is this? In the book of Exodus,
"An altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and